Welcome back, racers, to Gran Turismo Sport, and this is round 4 of our Global SS Challenge at the Nordschleife in Germany. Two of the manufacturers for you today. We have Citroen, so our Asia account, and we have Jevington, which is obviously our Australian and Oceania account. So the layout of this race is it's around this track, 3 laps only, and the fastest strat for me was to just hit every lap on the medium tyres and just absolutely bazz it around. A little bit of fuel saving, but that's about it. So coming across the line to set my one and only flying lap, and we finish in 10th position. So I'm not really sure how to feel about that one, but let's go. 10th position, we've got a long way to go, and the Citroen is really good at saving fuel as well, so we do have that in the bag, so that will save us a little bit of time in the pits. So my qualifying time didn't really show what I was capable of on this track, how fast I could be, so I want to get past as many of these cars as possible before we get onto the Nordschleife part of the circuit. Merrill going really slow on the apex there, and I just tap into the back of him, no harm done, but then we do get punted by the Mazda behind us. He does get a penalty, but we don't lose too much time. Obviously we do lose time, but there you go, as we get a nice run out of this corner coming onto the back straight. We're just going to squeeze around the outside of the Lexus there. Nice move done there. Can we go about getting past the Jaguar before we come onto the Nordschleife? This layout then, having the different layout for the chicane here, it's a much faster one as we look up the inside of the Jaguar. He brakes nice and early and I have to react, and it just sends us up the inside. So there we go, into 7th place and on to the Nordschleife. Looking pretty good, going up 3 positions there. I felt good, and then this happened. Coming around here, I'm going to momentarily forget how thick this Citroen is. I'm just going to dip a tyre onto that grass. All that time gained made on the GP layout just undone in one move. Green Hell is named Green Hell for a reason. It can just bite you in the face at any moment. We're going for an absolutely audacious move on here. Too wide, coming into this fast left. And somehow we managed to hold it, even dipping a little tyre onto the grass there. A little bit of contact as well. I don't know how we got out of that one alive, but good driving from me and the Lexus driver to both stay alive. Into 8th place and tracking down the Jaguar once again. So we do catch up with the Jaguar, and I think that's a Nissan in front as well. And now this is, I would call this the back straight, even though there's that massive straight, but I'm not really sure what that's called. But this is the back straight in my mind, as it's the one that climbs up the mountain. And you can just tell how narrow this track is, as we do have a little bit of a run on the Jaguar, and now we have the slipstream of the Nissan in front. We're going to go for that move, and we're just going to try and slip in between the two. We're not going to be able to go for a move on the Nissan right now, but we are going to be able to slip into 7th position once again, back up to 7th. Nicely done. And coming into one of the final sections, I really like this sector. I think there's a lot of time to be gained here, and as we come into this right-hander, he's just going to overshoot his braking point. He's just going to drive off and hand us 6th position. So very nice as we come up to the famous carousel corner. So coming around here, we do see 4th and 5th in front of us as well. So let's come around here. Very easy to get on the power too soon there and end up just spinning left. On the straight though, the Jaguar uses that straight line speed to just breeze past us. And as we come into the final couple of corners, we are going to go into the pit, so just choosing to stay behind and just save a little bit more fuel so we don't have to spend as long in the pits. And what was really interesting about this race is that people were doing different strats. Some people were doing 2 laps on the hard tyre and then going to 1 on the medium. And as you can see there, the Jaguar is obviously doing 2 laps there, but we're going to go for just the 2 stops, so doing 3 laps on fresh medium tyres. Coming out of the pits then in 9th position, so tracking down 8th. And we do catch up to him coming out of the chicane there. He comes across in front of my line, and there is a little bit of contact there. I thought he was going to stay defensive, but he didn't. He moved across, and there was a little bit of contact, so unfortunate for him. He goes a little bit wide, and we are up to 8th position coming onto the Nordschleife. It took us a couple of minutes, but we did catch up with the next pack of cars coming onto the back straight, as I call it. We do get a better exit than the Subaru, and we are firmly in the slipstream of, I believe, the BMW in front of us. Catching up with Lexus then, once again behind Merrill. Can we go about getting past him through this fast section? And looking back at this move, I probably should have just waited. He goes a little bit wide there, and as he comes back, there's going to be a slight contact. The faintest of touches, and that's going to get us a 1 second penalty for forcing another car off the track. I think it was a racing incident. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below, but that's going to give us a second penalty, which when the penalty line is on the start of the longest straight on the track, that second penalty is probably going to cost us 3, maybe 4 seconds by the end of it. So here we go then, we are 1.8 seconds ahead of the car behind, 1.9, probably 2 seconds ahead of the car behind. Let's see how much time we lose. So 1 second there, we are in the slipstream of the BMW ahead of us. Are we going to lose all of that time, or were they serving a penalty as well? Looking back at it as well, here they come, look, there's those two cars. So we've lost 2 seconds already to the Mercedes-Benz, and he's just going to sweep past us nice and easy, and we're just going to tuck into that slipstream like we did the lap before and save a little bit of fuel coming into the last couple of corners. So there, the Mercedes was actually behind the car that was behind us before we served the penalty, so he got around 2/10 ahead of us there, and he must have been over 2 seconds. So that 1 second penalty probably lost us 2.5, 3 seconds there. Into the pits we go then, and we come out in 7th position. That guy there, I'm not really sure what he's doing, but he's just going off on one. Oh, that's Merrill. That's the Lexus driver that we've had a little bit of a battle with over the duration of this race, but we are behind the Mercedes-Benz. Now, can we go about getting past him before we go onto the Nordschleife? Coming into this fast chicane, then he is narrow, and we get a better run around. We're going for the around the outside move onto the Nordschleife. Can we hold it around the outside? Nearly contact. We managed to keep it clean and up into 5th position. 3rd and final lap then, we're about 5.5 seconds away from 4th position, and we're about 3/10 ahead of the guy behind us. Coming into here though, the car's going to get really unsettled over the bump, and we're going to lose a lot of time, and we're going to lose 2 positions, 1 to the BMW and 1 to that Mercedes. Can we go about catching these guys before the end of the race? I have to say as well that my head kind of just went. It wasn't really in the race from now on. That's just something I've really got to work on. As you can tell here, we lost time to the players in front, and as we come into here, he's just going to send it up and then just tap me off. And there we go, the Subaru just taps me off. He doesn't actually get a penalty for that, which is kind of annoying, and that puts us down to 9th position. So I think we would have had 7th if we weren't tapped off there by the Subaru, but I put myself in that position you know, by making a mistake earlier on in the race. So there we go, finishing in 9th position, and kind of disappointing because I think I could have got 5th. Anyway, those 800 points put us 5th in the Citroen manufacturers in the Asia region. So on target for reaching that SS rank there, and we move to Jivington in the VW. So I was a little bit disappointed with that last race. You know, we made a couple of mistakes that cost us a really good end position there. Probably could have got around 1,200, 1,300 points. That would have been much better than the 800 we got. Coming across the line, 2 people have obviously had some kind of altercation at the end of the lap. Idiots, you shouldn't be racing when you're trying to do a qualifying lap. But focusing in here, we are nearly 10 seconds behind the leader. That's insane. There's no way I'm going to get close to that. Anyway, there we go. We are sitting in 4th position. And once again, can we get past before the Nordschleife? I feel like I could have gone quicker. Setting those laps and worn tyres is always a bad thing, and this guy's just going to dip out, and he knows that we don't need to fight this early into the race. And he might be on a different strat as well, so there's no point in him just holding me up onto the Nordschleife, where it's very, very difficult to overtake. We have a little bit of a moment there, but we do regain it, and moving forward a little bit, we are still behind 2nd place, but he does make a mistake, and that gives us 2nd position. Nothing really else happens on that lap as we come into the pits. But as we emerge, we do go into 1st position, so that's obviously he is refueling a little bit more than us, so he's taking on fuel now, and we will take on fuel on the 2nd stop, so we'll be longer in the pits in the 2nd one. So towards the end of lap 2, we actually have a 5-second gap, but we're going to make another mistake, dipping our rear left toe onto the grass, and then it's going to snap us into the wall. And this is what I mean with the penalty system. This is my issue with it. So not only did we lose 5 seconds because of the incident and getting back on the road, we're going to lose a further 3 seconds because of our engine damage. So that takes it up to 8 seconds. We're then going to have to serve this penalty, which is a 1.5 second penalty, and that's going to lose us an extra 3 seconds on the straight. So one incident, instead of losing us 6 seconds, has now lost us 11 seconds. I don't really feel the necessity for that 1.5 second penalty. But I would love to know your thoughts on that sort of penalty incident. When you crash and lose time, do we need that penalty on top of it all? But anyway, we have to deal with what we're given. So I think Atom Cat Racing, I think he's just going to stay out and just go. He's not going to pit, so he's got enough fuel to last him to the end of the race. So when we go into the pits here, we're obviously going to have to fill up quite a bit. So we're going to be quite a while in the pit. So we're going to dive in right now, nearly empty on the fuel. And there we go. We have to fill it all the way up to the little white dot there. And when we come out, we see that we are 14 seconds, nearly 15 seconds behind the leader. And then obviously second place is 10 seconds away. Can we go about catching up these guys on the final lap? 10 seconds. We have got fresh tyres, and first and second are on worn tyres and probably having to fuel save as well. And we do get super close to old Pan Mac here, really in that slipstream. I just couldn't quite get into that 1 second range before the start of that long straight. And we're only 6 seconds off of the leader as well. So think about it, if we didn't make that mistake and lost over 11 seconds in that incident, we probably would have finished first. So there you go, mistakes once again costing us a fantastic result. But anyway, silver lining, we do have a podium. That is third. We have number 11 on our car, and that's going to give us 947 points, which is going to put us fourth in the VW manufacturers. So there we go. Unfortunately, green hell absolutely did me over, and a couple of mistakes really cost us those extra couple of points. But here we go. Thank you for watching, liking and subscribing. Thank you to the channel members for doing what you do, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey.